What's going on? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. I have not posted in here in a while, but I've decided to hop on today and kind of update you guys on my life and everything that's been going on. So, for the past couple weeks, I've been really locked in, so that's why I've haven't been able to have enough time to go on here and post. But this is something that I still would like to do. Still like to talk about the things I've learned and grown throughout my business journey, my wealth journey, my relationships, and health. But a quick update, I've gone from I think it's 169 pounds to now 164 pounds on my cut. So there's a lot of progress going on there. One of my goals this month is to hit 160. So 4 pounds in the next 4 weeks. So 1 pound a week. I want to go down, not 160 flat, but like 160.9 or something like that. To get that, I've been pretty consistent with my diet, relationships wise. Everything is going really well. I've been spending more time with my family, my cousins, and my girlfriend. She's in Thailand, but we've been really having our good moments on our phone calls and everything, and managing relationships. So on that aspect, things have been going really well. One of the biggest things that I kind of learned over the past 2 weeks was coming to succumb to my not succumb, but what's a better word to say it? Finally facing my fears, right? And one of the biggest fears that I've had for the longest time was getting back into doing virtual sales calls, right? And recently, I really like the idea of talking to the people that I work with and things like that. And I never really had a problem with that after um, they signed up. After, you know, my business partners would get them on uh, to work with us, right? And one of my biggest fears was essentially hopping back on to sales because for me, back when I did do sales a long time ago, about a year or 2 years ago, I I had this psychological connection between sales and rejection as literal rejection towards a human being. Just that there's this whole psychological battle that I had um, around the connotation of if I do sales then I'm gonna lose my friends or if I'm gonna all this crap. And it was just a feeling. I didn't discover what it was until recently. But I spent the past 2 years, or a year to 2 years, however long it was, uh, then now working on the service, the fulfillment, the back end of the business, things like that. I fell in love with doing that, and it's progressed us very far in terms of the actual service, the actual quality of things we can actually provide for our clients. So, but one of the biggest things that I was avoiding was going back into sales. Even though if I had a good product, I realized that if I have a good product and I don't go out and help people, then the people with a shit product are going to go take the people that I would work with and do them worse, right? That's one thing. But the whole idea behind this video is just talking about how I was avoiding my fear for 2 years. I think it was 2 years. It was 2023. No, yeah, the end of 2023 was when I stopped taking sales before I went to Thailand. And then I met Aiden, and then he started taking the sales. So I haven't taken a sales since 2023. That's a long time. It's 2026, so 2 to 3 years actually. And I just would make tons of excuses and things like that to avoid it. I would cope with doing more back end work um, when I could have been doing both. I was afraid every time I thought about doing it, every time I came close to do it, I had this petrifying feeling that would trickle through my spine. And like I would freeze up. I'd be paralyzed. I wouldn't be able to do it. And I can never pinpoint why. And not only throughout the past 2 years of me kind of being stuck in this limbo state, right? Not taking control of that aspect of my life. The way I was kind of compensating for that was trying extremely hard in every other realm of my life except for that. I was fearless when it came to everything else. I had no problem sitting in front of my desk for 10 hours a day, working on building systems, working on and like talking to our current clients, current partners, um, giving them good results. But the one thing that I knew was always back in my mind that I could not conquer was this part of me, was sales. And I stayed stuck in this state for over 2, 3 years. And just until recently, I kind of actually sat and reflected, spoke to some people, and I realized like it will never feel better. There's no mindset technique, there is no strategy, there is no waiting, there is nothing. You just have to face the truth. This is the one thing I've been preaching for a long time. Face the truth. And I wasn't facing the truth for the longest time in this regard. You have to face the truth that it's never going to feel better. It's never going to be better. It's always going to suck. You just have to become the person that is okay with doing shit that sucks. And that is the only way to get through something you're afraid of, to get through a breakthrough. You can't wait for the wall to break. You have to pick up the hammer and swing it. The crack's there. Part of even being able to break through is just facing the truth. Part of it's being able to sit down and tell yourself, I've been avoiding doing this thing that would benefit me a lot, but I'm not right now. I'm coping. I'm doing other things to compensate for that right now. But that's not the right thing because I should be focusing on this specific thing right now, along with everything else, regardless of how I feel, regardless of anything. And it sounds easier said than done, right? But it honestly, once you start doing it, once you start facing your fears with exposure, it gets easier and easier and easier and easier. Then you become confident and everything like that. But this is the protocol that I would do to be able to get through this constant 2 years of avoidance, 2 years of avoiding this resistance. The first thing is be brutally honest. It all ties into the foundation of being brutally honest. Everything ties into that. If you can't see reality in your situation for how things actually are, then you can't really fix it. The first thing is finding the problem. You can't have a solution if without finding the problem, or else you'll just build random solutions on top of things like I did, to cope away from facing the problem. And facing the problem is going to suck. It's going to sting. It's going to be like, holy crap, this identity that I built for myself um, is not what is needed to hit the next level. First, you got to be honest. And once you're honest with yourself, then you have a choice to make. Am I going to be the person that is just going to be okay with being stuck where I am for the rest of my life? Never facing this corner, this alley of resistance and limiting my potential to that? Or am I going to be the person who does the thing, regardless of how he feels, regardless if it's sunny or raining outside? He still gets that shit done. And once you've made that decision, that becomes who you are. That's who you need to believe who you are in that moment. And that everything that you do now is not the process. This is really important. I have it literally written on my whiteboard right here. This is really important to remember this. Once you have officially decided who you are, not who you're going to be, who you currently are, you change with just saying a couple words. Now from this point on, the actions you take are now not the process of you becoming this person, because you've already decided and you are now this person, but rather they are the evidence. Now you're just compiling evidence to who you already are. And I'm not saying you need to go full all in, fucking burn yourself out, but just focus on taking that step forward and keep walking forward. Keep doing more. Keep facing it little by little, more and more every single day, and staying near your edge. You will never know what your edge is And by edge, I mean like the point of breakdown, the point of like you become petrified with fear and you can't do anything about it. You need to get so close to that edge to where you know where it is. And you need to stay close to that because that is the fastest way to push your comfort zone. And it's going to suck. And there's no way around it. I tried it for 2 years. There's no way around it. The only way is through it. Things won't get better. If anything, if you don't take action, they will only get worse. They will only get harder. And once you get, let's say you've gone through those couple of things already. Another thing that's super, super important. If you want to be able to reach the desired place that you want to be in your life, you need to put all of your attention there. Every bit of it. Attention is alignment. If you have your attention on other things, if you're on your phone, if you're looking at politics, if you're anything not revolving around the betterment of your life, the things that you can do in this present moment right now, the actions that you can take right now are fucking pointless. Because the future, you could worry about things in the future, right? But now your energy's in the future. Your energy's there. You can worry about the things that happened in the past, right? But now your energy's there. You only have a certain amount of bandwidth of energy to put on things. If you're thinking always about something that might happen, could happen, or did happen, you won't have any focal energy or attention to put on the things that you know you should be doing to actually change your current situation right here, now, in this present moment, right now. To be able to actually get what you want, to be able to change who you are, to be able to put up the evidence to who you've already changed to be, you need to put your attention on the thing that you're trying to achieve. But that's my someone's calling, but that's my quick little rant. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, leave a comment below.